Hi everyone. One little bunny saw some grass to chew. He met a friend, and that made two. Two bunnies hopped to a tree. Along came another, and that made one, two, three. Three little bunnies wanted one more, found one soon, and that made one, two, three, four. Four little bunnies found a beehive, spied another bunny, and that made five. Five little bunnies. Hello, little bunnies. Good afternoon, everyone. I have a book to read today. The Little Rabbit Who Wanted Red Wings. Look at that. Wanted Red Wings, and it's written by Carolyn Sherwin Bailey and illustrated by Jacqueline Rogers. The Little Rabbit Who Wanted Red Wings. Once there was a little rabbit who had soft pink ears, bright red eyes, and a short fluffy tail. He was such a cute little rabbit, but he wasn't happy. He wanted to be somebody else instead of the nice little rabbit he was. Wherever Mr. Bushytail the gray squirrel passed by, Little Rabbit would say to his mummy, "Oh, Mummy, I wish I had a long gray tail like Mr. Bushytail's." Oh, he liked Mr. Bushytail's tail. And wherever Mr. Porcupine passed by, the little rabbit would say to his mummy, "Oh, Mummy, I wish I had a bag full of bristles like Mr. Porcupine's." Ooh, look at this. Not me. I wouldn't get my clothes on. And whenever Mrs. Puddle Duck passed by in her two red flippers, Little Rabbit would say to his mummy, "Oh, Mummy, I wish I had a pair of red flippers like Mrs. Puddle Duck's." Old Mr. Groundhog heard the little rabbit wishing. Old Mr. Groundhog was very wise indeed. So he said to the little rabbit, "Why don't you go down to the wishing pond? If you look at yourself in the water and turn around 3 times, your wish will come true. Do you think?" So the little rabbit trotted off along through the woods until he came to a pool of water lying in a tree stump. That was the wishing pool. Oh, look, the animals are watching. Beside the wishing pond sat a small red bird drinking happily. As soon as the little rabbit saw him, he began to wish again. "Oh," he said to himself, "I wish I had a pair of red wings." Just then he looked in the wishing pond and saw his little face. Then he turned around 3 times, and something happened. The little rabbit began to have a strange feeling in his shoulders, like he had had in his mouth when his teeth were first growing in. It was his wings coming through. Oh boy, he wished for wings. So he sat all day in the woods by the wishing pond, waiting for his wings to grow. By and by, just before sundown, he started home to show his mummy his beautiful pair of long red wings. Oh, look at his long red wings. You think his mummy's gonna like his red wings? Let's see. It was dark when the little rabbit reached home. He knocked on the door. His mother opened it right away, but she didn't know him. No, she really and truly didn't know him. for she had never seen a little rabbit with red wings before. Oh, she didn't know her own baby. Oh no, little rabbit. The little rabbit had no choice but to go looking for a place to spend the night, because his mommy would not let him get into his own bed. After a while he came to Mr. Bushytail's house. The little rabbit rapped on the door and said, "Please, kind Mr. Bushytail, may I sleep in your house all night?" But as soon as Mr. Bushytail saw the strange rabbit, he slammed the door shut. He'd never seen a little rabbit with red wings in all his life. Uh-oh. The little rabbit went on until he came to Mrs. Puddleduck's nest down by the marsh. He said, "Please, kind Mrs. Puddleduck, may I sleep in your nest all night?" But Mrs. Puddleduck poked her head out of the nest just a little way. "No, no," she said, "go away," for she too had never seen such an odd-looking rabbit in all her life. Oh dear, oh dear, poor little rabbit. So the little rabbit went on and on until he came to old Mr. Groundhog's hole. Wise old Mr. Groundhog recognized him at once and let him spend the night. But the hole had beech nuts spread all over it, and while that pleased old Mr. Groundhog, the beech nuts made little Rabbit very uncomfortable, and he had a terrible night. In the morning, the little Rabbit decided to try out his wings and fly a little. So he climbed up on a hill, spread out his wings, and sailed off. But he landed in a bush of all full of prickles, and his little feet got stuck in the branches, and he couldn't get down. Oh, look, he tried to fly with his wings. "Mommy, Mommy," he cried, "come and help me." Of course, his mommy couldn't hear him, but old Mr. Groundhog did. He said to his little friend, "Do you still want your red wings?" "No, no," said little Rabbit. "Well then," said Mr. Groundhog, "why don't you go down to the wishing pond and wish them off again?" You think he will? I think he will too. I think he misses his mommy. Quick as a wink, little Rabbit scampered off to the wishing pond, looked in, and wished his wings away. Then he turned around 3 times, and sure enough, his red wings got smaller and smaller and smaller till they were gone altogether. The little rabbit went straight home to his mummy. She knew him right away and was overjoyed to see that little rabbit she loved. Look, big hugs for little rabbit. She missed him. And the little rabbit never, ever wished to be someone other than himself again. I think he's now happy to be himself. And that's the end of the little rabbit who wanted red wings. And don't forget, my friends, be yourself too, because your mommy and daddy love you just the way you are as well. And so do we. Bye.